Everybody, welcome to another edition of this Quant Labs Trading Live Report. Tonight we've been running a test on this upcoming automated forex trading strategy. So in this detailed video, I want to go over the testing. In summary, we've got I'm estimating about 75% win ratio on the entries. We don't care about the exits because the logic has not been implemented into this test. Also, no leverage is considered, or we're only doing one unit test at a time for each position. And as I said, all we care about is the trading logic, and what we're looking for are the calls on the forecasting of the entries into the market, if it's for a short or a long. Majority are longs. You'll see what I mean in the video, and let me know what you think, and we shall talk to you later. Thanks for watching or listening. Hello everybody, Brian here from quantlabs.net for late Thursday, November 23rd. We've been running this automated trading strategy for a good couple of hours now. Somewhat successes, just wanted to fill you in on where things are at. Just to make sure we understand things as the big caveat. The caveat is the strategy kind of only does entries, but I want to show you that the entries seem to be somewhat profitable. There's no trading logic yet for the exit. That's fairly easy to do from my end. I just got to implement it. I just want to show you the calls for the entries. So let me just show you. There's a generic in Duca's copy, the reports. Now, these are all losses because obviously there's no exit logic, and the broker will exit for me on my behalf. So a lot of them are losses. Now, if you were not part of my event on the when I talked about the strategy on Monday night, the current status, it's a lot more advanced now. More progress has been made. So let me just show you some of the reports. So the overall portfolio obviously we had a first batch which were nothing but red, and then I've tightened it up with a bad bug in it. The intraday report is quite interesting. As I fixed up the bug, what started happening was there's a lot of activity on the Australian US dollar, and then a lot of activity on positions were being taken on, and then the next round after that was all of a sudden the Euro Australian parallel started to take place, and then later on Euro British pound, then the Euro US dollar. Now, just as a highlight, I need to ensure that you understand that I have no control of subscribing to or listening to the Euro US dollar, because that's an automatic a pair I have no control over. That's an automatic subscribe, and I literally cannot unsubscribe from it, which is right here, this X. I can unsubscribe from, what's a good one to maybe, or let's say the Norway, the US dollar against the Norwegian krone. So you can see it's disappeared, so it means I'm not subscribed to it. But when you look at the Euro US dollar, it says I can, actually let me try it. Looks like I already did that. But on default, when you start up the JForex, it defaults to that. Anyways, back to the report. So there was some activity on the Euro US dollar, British pound against the US dollar. So I'm trying to eliminate these these other currencies that are more the stable ones, unless they're part of the more volatile ones, the top most volatile for the last 24 hours. But as you may or may not have been tracking for the last couple of weeks, the same list of the top 5 have been pretty well consistent. So there's been some activity on the US Hungarian and the US Japanese yen. I think personally that these may, I'm still testing these currencies, the more stable ones, on the US dollar and Japanese yen. And the other one is, as I've always said, is the US dollar against the rand, and that's South Africa. And then also the rand and the Japanese yen, which are pretty well the most volatile. So these are the overall positions that were taken on, the overall P&L. Always remember, I'm only buying one unit, nothing more. There's no leverage applied. Also, the commission fees are fairly low. If I can find it, I think they're like at 2 cents or whatnot. Let's see their position report if that shows. Yeah, right here, the commission in US dollars is 2 cents. And then there's some at 4 cents. So we need to watch these commission fees because those are what will eat your profits, because the profits are fairly small without the leverage. Consolidated report, let's see what we got here. There's nothing much there. So the overall P&L, obviously, like you can see the P&L, the commission is quite high, not like comparatively. Fund transfers we don't care about. Activity, log. So this is what the strategy is doing when it's connecting. Merge log. The trade log's a very interesting log as well. Gives you the fill, if it was sold, on which side it was on, and the sell as well. So that's the general log for that. The strategy log, not sure why this is not being recorded, because I am using a strategy. So let's see the strategy. So the currencies that are supposed to be subscribed to are, as I said, the rand against the yen, the dollar against the rand, the US dollar against the Hungarian forint, I guess, and I believe the euro and Australian dollar was the other one. Oh, actually, sorry, that was the US dollar and the Norwegian krone that we had. So we had no positions put on in that currency on the dollar and Norwegian krone. But let's take a look at the important stuff, which is very, very important. Okay, so if we go into position report, I believe. Okay, so no, we want intraday report. Yeah, okay, so we had some activity on the Australian US dollar. So if we go into and then remember, I'm on a 10-second time frame here, so I may need to adjust that. So the Australian US dollar. Now, the one thing we're looking for are entries. Remember, we don't have any. This is the blood with the bug that was discovered earlier tonight. Here, I don't know what direction this was on. This was a buy. Let me see if there's any other triggers here. Doesn't look like it. Oh, here we go. So you can see here we have a sell, which is a short. You can see the direction is correct. And you're going to see more of that. So this, for somehow this exit happened at the broker level, I have no idea. One of the interesting things was the strategy was shut down automatically because of the strategy was automatically shut down because the queue was overloaded. Ticks in queue, bars, too many bars being collected, which I guess I have to throttle it down, which is something I have to, because we're doing this every 10 seconds, so it does get queued up, I guess. So I have to adjust that to maybe something like a minute or 5 minutes, so it enables the server to, or the strategy in JForex to keep up with the bars, because I'm watching so many things. So there's that. Okay, so we've got the Australian US dollar, and as I said, we've got that call correct on a short or a sell, and it got the direction correct. We don't care about the exit because, as I said earlier, we're not tracking the direction. So that entry is correct. Our next crossing pair that we're looking for is the euro against the Australian dollar. So euro Australian dollar. Here we go. So this is the most recent. Let's just see. So that's the most recent. The chart is still active, and here it gets quite interesting. Here's a position buy, 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 buy. Let me show you that. Buy. Oh, that's a sell. Okay. And that's a buy. Okay. So are there any more? So we have about 5 or 6 positions put on. So here we have a buy, which went and buy. It would have made a little bit of money, but it got that call correct. Here's a classic one, the buy on sort of a dip. Now remember, we're using 3 indicators, and they all have to be successful. So there's a buy there, and it went up. Again, we can't do anything about the call. So that's correct. Now the next one, again, a buy, and it went up. But here you can see the pattern is that the direction is correct. So it's forecasting a buy, but the other thing you need to realize, it's buying on the dip. And then a few seconds later, it goes up. Okay, very important. Here's another one on the buy. See that? Oh, that's a sell. So it did somewhat a short. I have to make sure of that. But once I get the exit logic, we can confirm that. Did a buy, got the call right. This one was a sell, and it somewhat got it. It did get it correctly. That's pretty well it. So I'll assume we did okay on that, where a lot of those positions, the right calls were correct. And remember, we're using 3 indicators for that. And if you're part of the webinar, you know exactly those indicators. Now, here's the euro British pound. Let's see how that did. Okay, so we got the euro British pound. So we'll do some rewinding here. So here's the most up to, okay, so here, is that correct? Yes, so those are the positions. So let's see what we did here. We had a sell, and it went down. That's what we want. We had a buy, went up a little bit, but our indicators did line up. That's why it initialized the call. Here was a buy. Oh, we got that wrong. So that is one of the rare ones that's wrong. So we got a little bit on the buy. Again, that one would have been choppy, but it would have, if we had the right call, we might made a bit of money here at this point, or even here. Okay, so let's see our next. We only got one incorrect on that one. So let's see our next one. So we have the euro US dollar. So let's check that out. US dollar, where are you? Oh, we got rid of that one. That's okay. Actually, we can still, still be able to, I don't think we'll be able to see the history of it. Let me give it a whirl. US dollar. Okay, so here is the most recent. Let's see if we have any positions coming up. Yes, no, we don't have anything. Oh, there we go. So we have a buy, a little bit. Another buy, it went up here. So what direction is this in? That's a closed position. A buy, it did go up, and it did a sell. So not a lot of money, but it did do the right calls. And again, when these indicators line up, that's what we want to do. The long or the buy is defined by Dukas copy. All right, so let's see the other currencies. British pound and the US dollar. Okay. Okay, so let's see here. We're all the way over here. Where are you? Here we go. So what do we got here? Closed position. Oh, that's all the blood, not the bug. So we have a sell. It is going down. We have another sell going down. So that closed it there, which seems okay. Do a sell and another close here. Okay, it got the directions correct, I think, but nothing earth-shattering there. And then we have the U.S. Hungarian. Let's see what we got here. U.S. Hungarian. This is a volatile one, but I bet you it just doesn't have the volume. Okay. Oh, we got two there. Okay. So we only have two positions here. So we have a closed, a buy, I guess it, and a buy. That one's incorrect, but this one's sort of incorrect. Continuing along, the U.S. Japanese yen. Alrighty, so let's see what we have here. Okay, it doesn't look like we got anything recorded, even though there was supposed to be. I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, so what else we got here? We have the US dollar and the rand. Okay, so here we go. Let's see. There we go. That's a sell, so I guess it kind of got it right. And then another sell. Nothing to brag about there. But these are probably a very light volume, which we've identified as not a lot there. What else we got here? And then we have the last one, which is the rand against the yen. Let's see. Yep, that's the one. So here we are. You can see it's fairly choppy, meaning it is fairly volatile, which is what we want. No, I can't find it unless this is one of them. A buy and up a little bit. Whoop-de-doo. Nothing to brag about. All right, so that's the analysis. I would say a good chunk of these positions seem to get the right calls on the entries. I'll apply the exit logic and see what happens on that, and hopefully instead of losses, we'll get a positive P&L. Hope this helps you out. Talk to you later. Well, there you go, another podcast video done. If you ever want to get any of our daily analytics, all you have to do is just visit us at quantlabs.net/blog. Look for at the bottom of the page and look for the yellow box. Click here. You can sign up, get free daily analytics, as well as 2 books for free. First one is How to Trade Like a Boss, showing you 11 tips you need to know so that you are preventing yourself from allowing your broker from screwing you over. There's 11 tips for that. Also, there's a second book which will show you different automation techniques that you can use to enhance your automated trading. One is Excel, and one is an open source project written in Java. Also, if you go under our website here at quantlabs.net, anywhere you do get a product option here at the top, all you have to do is choose any of these services that we've got. A variety of courses, one on infrastructure, building blocks for Python for a primitive algo trading system, full in-depth course on interactive brokers, the workshop for advanced programming languages like C++, Java, and Python, as well as a full-on futures and options trading course built upon a UC Davis course with all algorithms and source code provided in C++ and Python. And not only that, it gets even better. We have our analytics service, which is exactly for anybody not capable of programming or needing or wanting to program. You can definitely join our full analytics service where we give trading signals and exactly what our system's doing, as well as live tracking for all our trading and joining our weekly community events. There you go, and hopefully we'll see you on one of the other options, and talk to you later. Have a good day.